What's up guys, Darkerly here, aka Blackheart909, and this is a Steam Deck performance video. It's something I've been thinking about getting into, and it's always really fun to optimize games around the Steam Deck's hardware. It's a little bit limited, but also surprisingly capable. So I thought I'd do a few videos on the Steam Deck, see what games you guys are interested in checking out the performance of, and figure out if I have those games and if I can provide a reliable way to get playable or more than playable frame rates. Now, I'm a little neurotic when it comes to performance, and I really enjoy the process of optimizing games and getting the best performance possible. On my Steam Deck right now, I've decided to install almost all my Steam library onto my SD card. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I play a lot of older generation games on my Steam Deck, and I feel like they don't really need you to have an SSD going at all times. So on this particular Steam Deck, I have a 512 gigabyte SD card, and it's a 512 gigabyte OLED model Steam Deck. So that's a lot of storage, and I always prefer having free storage on my SSD for the big bulky ass games. So today we're gonna be playing Arkham Origins. It's a really fun game. It's a bit old, but I don't think that gets in the way of enjoying the game too much whatsoever. My preferred way to play games on my Steam Deck, however, is by streaming in the house using a Wi-Fi 6 router and Moonlight and Sunshine. If you guys don't know what that is, I'm basically playing video games on my PC and then casting it or streaming the game to my Steam Deck, and the latency is surprisingly extremely low. I've done some tests and they come out to be around 60 milliseconds or less, which is pretty good. So this is Batman Arkham Origins. It's a game from, I believe, let's see, when did this game come out? It came out
Be able to access doors like this with my cryptographic sequencer. I'll need to find another way.
Store page. 2013, so it's reasonably old, but it's also a pretty good looking game. The art style they have in this game is really nice. As you can see here, I have a basically locked 60 FPS. Let me just turn the brightness up a little bit. The colors on the OLED screen look fantastic. Really good frame time, close to 16 milliseconds, no problems whatsoever. So let me just go over the graphic settings really quickly. Now, as I told you guys, I'm a little bit neurotic when it comes to settings. I always want to get the best bang for my buck. So I have the resolution set all the way up to 1800p, so it's the default resolution, it's native resolution. Anti-aliasing is FXAA high. FXAA is quite a non-demanding form of anti-aliasing by itself. Geometric details, dynamic shadow, basically all the DX11 stuff is set to normal, and physics is off since we're using an AMD card. What else can I say about this? I've tinkered around with having the settings. So let me just turn off the frame rate limit. I've tinkered around with having the settings a little bit different, in the sense that I've kept the DX11 features on, and it's not the best experience to me because you do get drops below 60 FPS that way, but like this, it's a consistent flat 60. So a little bit of combat. As you can see, we're holding 90 FPS quite well. So I would say this is a totally valid way to play. Um, Forgive me if I don't dodge all the bullets. Okay. So, this is not one of the most demanding areas, even though there's a ton of NPCs on the screen. And Batman just got beat, but that was kind of my fault.
Looks like justice has finally been served, fellas.
Hey,
Now,
how dare you?
what's under that?
He wants to see what's under that mask. It's me. I'm under that mask. Yeah, so let's go through that fight one more time. This time I'll do a little bit better. And I'm actually quite surprised that it stayed really close to the 90 FPS mark. And this is running straight off the Steam Deck. There has to be a way to disarm the guards shooting at me. So I would say this is a fairly challenging section in terms of number of enemies on screen. And man, you can see the Steam Deck is handling it absolutely beautifully. Only 11 milliseconds of latency, and that's pretty amazing. Oh, broke my combo there. So, a couple of areas where I noticed frame drops is the spoiler alert, it's quite an old game though, is the Deathstroke boss fight. And that's why I reduced the settings from the DX11 settings. But let's have a go at it one more time. And this time I'm gonna enable the DX11 settings, just so we can get an idea of how it's gonna perform in a situation like that. So now we're gonna go everything maxed out. I'm gonna skip the physics because that was a NVIDIA exclusive feature. And you can see we already start dropping a few frames. We're playing around the 90s right now, but I assume it's gonna go lower when we go down there. So yeah, here we get a few drops below 60. It's definitely not a terrible experience, and if you do prefer the visual fidelity, consider this like a fidelity mode. But from this perspective, like really far away behind the camera, I do not see the difference in visual fidelity, to be honest. I mean, when I focus and pay way more attention to the shadows, you're definitely going to see some missing shadow. The ambient inclusion is not as good, but from an everyday gaming perspective, I would suggest sticking to the 90 FPS mode and yeah, just play with normal shadows. So one last time, let's go back to the optimized settings. Are we even supposed to like fight all these cops in this room? Let's see, graphic options, normal, 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 normal. There we go. So very minimal loss to fidelity. Let's go back in there. So let's see, what gadgets do we have? Can we, so if I add a smoke pellet in there, it's gonna make it way harder to see for them. And I should be able to, yeah, I don't even remember which button we used to get detective vision on. There we go. Now I can see who has guns. Right, the guys with the guns are down there. Hey. So yeah, alpha effects, smoke definitely causes some problems, but I didn't really notice too many drops, and it was pretty much imperceptible to me when I was feeling it in terms of latency. Can I drop a pellet? I'm actually fortunate this room is where I ended my last gaming session on, because it makes for a perfect benchmarking room. Okay, now let's have a quick little test with these settings and see how the outdoor environments look in this. Okay, how do I get out of this building? There we go. So looking into a big room, you don't really get frame drops. Looking into some heavy lighting, no real frame drops. That's actually quite impressive to me. This was an Xbox 360 game. The Steam Deck is far more capable than an Xbox 360, but I still find it really impressive that it's running flawlessly at 90 FPS. I assume the Xbox 360 version ran at somewhere around 60 FPS, and back in the day, back in 2013, games were way better optimized for Xbox 360 than they were for PlayStation 3, which had quite a lot of frame drops. And the usual resolution you'd see on most of those consoles were like around 720p.
I won't be able to access doors like this with my cryptographic sequencer. I'll need to find another way.
Looks like we have to fight these guys. Okay, we're gonna go one more attempt. I'm not gonna do an outdoor scene, I think.
Listen up. While you jokers were playing cleanup crew at Blackgate, I was making us
Maybe we can just sneak past them. We can just sneak past them, you know? We can just do this.
We get the bounty, all $50 million.
Oh, those are some dirty cops.
We all retire
Oh Jesus, they all just snuck up on me. Was it because I knocked out their friend? Like, I need to get the gun guys out of the way. The gun guys are the biggest problems to my life. Literally. Oh jeez. Boom, boom. Okay. I hope you guys found this video useful. I hope you found it to be a little bit helpful, and if you guys want me to do more of these, let me know in the comments and I will be happy to make more videos for you.